This has one platter and two heads. Before we look inside the hard drive, we first of all need to remove the screws from the outer casing. When you remove the screws, place them carefully away from your work area. You now remove the label using a razor blade. Underneath the label you'll find a small round silver foil label. Lift this again with the razor blade. And remove the screw. Now need a small flat bladed object or tool with which to lift one corner of the hard drive and prise it up carefully. Now see inside of the hard drive. And the first thing that we need to do is to remove the magnet screws. Take those screws carefully with a pair of tweezers and move to the side. This hard drive only has one screw. Then we need the platter extractor. Press down and lift at a 90-degree angle and move the platter away, move the magnet away from the platters. Now that the magnet is safely out of the way, we can start to remove the heads. For this we will need one read-write head tool with one plastic wedge. Now we need to remove the voice coil PCB. You may need a small flat object with which to prise this open. Once you've moved the connection away from the PCB board, slide it gently out of the way. Use the read-write head tool. In an anti-clockwise manner, rotate the platters and move the head towards the edge of the platter. Slide the plastic wedge under the heads and at the same time slide the heads over the wedge and release the wedge into the head. The head assembly will hold the plastic wedge in place while you undo the actuator screw. And you should be keeping the head stack held firmly. I refer to this as a head stack. It does only have two heads. You can see the wedge is keeping those heads apart. Place the head stack to the side, out of the way where it won't get damaged. Next we can reassemble the head. The head very simply slides back into its pivot position. And tighten the pivot screw. Whilst keeping your fingers away from the edge of the platters and also the heads. Move the head stack towards the spindle, towards the platter. Place the wedge over the edge of the platter. Make sure it's aligned and not going to damage the head. And you may need to keep adjusting this. Wind the platter slowly in an anti-clockwise direction. Slide the wedge out, and still moving in an anti-clockwise direction, move the heads back to their parking zone. We can now replace the screws back in the PCB voice coil actuator connection. Now we can return the magnet back to its original seating position. With this, there is a small bar that you will align at the bottom left-hand corner. Align the screw holes, lower down and release. Your magnet is now back in its original position. The spindles are fine and the heads are in good condition. You can now go ahead and close up your hard drive. Make sure you replace all of the screws. Back in their original place. Once you're sure all the screws are comfortably reseated back in their original positions and the hard drive is fully reassembled, the hard drive is ready for either recovery or returning back to the client.